Hey guys, how you doing? I wanted to share something with you that I have been kind of noticing a little bit over the last few days, but it also took me back to something that happened a year ago. So I'll tell you about the thing that happened a year ago first. I was talking with someone that I used to work with in my other career, and they were getting they had actually started with their products, and they were working on going silver because they wanted to get those fast start bonuses, which they did. um, but I gave them a post to share on Facebook, and they did. And some friends started commenting, and there was this one friend that commented um, in almost sort of a negative way. And they said, well, I wish I would have known, I sell Plexus too. And it was almost two things. First of all, she's showing up on her friend's page, and I'm not accusing anyone of doing this. I'm just, sharing this with you. She shows up on her friend's page in her comments and is essentially trying to poach business. That was like the first big no-no. But the other thing is she immediately, because my friend alerted me and told me about it, she immediately went on her profile and did this long post, because I went and looked at it, and talked about all the things that she's an affiliate vendor for or an ambassador for. And she started naming this one and that one and Plexus. So there were like 5 or 6 things there. The interesting thing is she had never taken the time to be consistent about sharing Plexus in social media. She may have at one point or another, but she wasn't consistently doing it because she was doing other things. And then the other thing is she, is trying to now all of a sudden, well, I do Plexus, and it was an attempt to kind of steal some of the thunder from her friend. But what struck me was, again, is that she had her hands in so many different pots. And this was kind of a big flag for me because nobody knew who she was. And when I say nobody knew who she was, if you're trying to build a social selling business and you're doing all kinds of things, people get confused and they don't know what to do with you. But again, she had not really, because I like scrolled all through her profile, and I saw nothing about Plexus. But when it became convenient for her, she all of a sudden wanted to let everybody know she sold Plexus because she saw someone else talk about it. The other thing is, and the reason why I remembered that story is, I actually was doing some research on a testimony, and I went to this person's page, and they still use Plexus products. But all of a sudden I'm seeing, as I'm scrolling through, because I was looking for a specific testimony that I had shared before, and I'm looking at, and I should say I had never been to her profile. I had seen the testimony shared in another group, so I went back to her profile to see if I could find it. And what I noticed was, again, it was the same thing, is there was a post, there are posts about Norwex, and there were posts about Pampered Chef, and there were posts about this, and probably 4 or 5 different things. Now, I don't know if she's actively, trying to build a business with Plexus or not. I don't know. But she is someone who had an amazing PCOS story, and an infertility story with the products. So for people visiting her profile or friends of hers seeing her posts, you confuse your audience, because when people start to see that you're doing everything, they don't know what to do with you. And because they don't know, okay, are they passionate about Norwex? Is that what, is that their thing? Are they passionate about Pampered Chef? Are they passionate about Scentsy? Are they passionate about Plexus? What are they passionate about? Because I want to trust, what I'm doing here. And I actually had a friend who had started with Plexus a couple years ago, and the person that they started with has gone through several moves and are not with Plexus anymore. And so I've known this person for a while. I wasn't doing Plexus when they started. And, so they came to me because I wanted to get started again and knew that their previous sponsor was not around. So they came to me and we got them started. But, and I also was helping somebody with a Facebook event the other night, and a friend of theirs started, a journey. And I was trying to find out, what kind of support they had received previously because they had used Plexus. And same situation with both of these people is that in the beginning of their process and their journey, they really never got any kind of support. Here's how you start with your products, guidance and coaching. And I think that is such an important thing when we do this, is that, and that's why I spend so much time on the front end with you folks when you get started, because I want to help you all to understand, the best way to guide people when they're starting their products. And that's why when I, send one of your friends an email with, your link to get started or whatever, and I send them follow-up emails, I copy you because I want you to see, how I'm communicating with them, what I'm sharing with them, etc., so that you can begin to duplicate those behaviors as you get more confident in what you're doing. So my biggest lesson or, call out, if you're, truly wanting to build any kind of business or generate, a steady income through Plexus, is kind of really narrow down who you are. And I think it's okay if you're doing something else. But I think if you're making those things compete with each other, then you create confusion for your audience. So I think it's okay to have maybe something that's secondary that you like, but especially if you're experiencing, great health transformation with Plexus, let that be your main thing. But so I really would encourage folks to narrow down what it is you share on social media and show up consistently. And you know what? I'll say this too. Lastly, a social media post, because I've done posts that are long, that are short. I've had all kinds of posts. I'm still a work in progress myself. And I have found sometimes those one-liners with a picture are some of the best. Like a picture of your hand with your pink drink in it, or a selfie if you're that confident, and just saying, I'm glad I drink this every day. My energy has changed. I'm feeling great. My pink drink or whatever. And people are like, okay, what is that? So posts can be simple. So don't feel like you have to do a long post. But those are some tips and some things that have kind of been on my mind today that I wanted to share with you, and hope you get some value from it. Hope you guys have a great day. Bye.